Hey there, folks. Welcome to another episode of the People Stack podcast. I am Jen Bunk. I'm CEO of the People Stack, and our mission is to help tech managers, committed tech managers, authentic, assertive, servant leader tech managers to build your dream careers. So welcome to all of you, and we have officially entered the holiday season. It's interesting to have a holiday season during a global pandemic. And it really has helped me to play with and even redefine my definition of gifts and my definition of giving and receiving, to really expand that, especially during a time when a lot of us are either not feeling safe to or choosing to, for whatever reason, to not physically spend time with family during this holiday season, when I know it's like a big tradition to gather, and sometimes with lots and lots of family. We don't have right now, our family is kind of a smaller, tight-knit unit. There's maybe about 8 to 10 of us total that we kind of keep in contact with one another. And when we get together, it's about the 8 to 10 of us. But when I was growing up, it was way more. It was all the cousins. It was all the aunts and the uncles and the great aunts and the great uncles and the second cousins and the third cousins. And we would all get together in somebody's house. A whole bunch of people without masks, oh my gosh, would gather around in a big house, or somebody's house, maybe not even a big house. We would squish in and enjoy the holiday season together. And I've been thinking a lot about gifts and giving and what experience we want to have for this holiday season. Rob and I have been talking about that with our family. And I realized that it's actually relevant to this week's topic, which is the cost of coping. On the last episode, I talked about the negative consequences of not upgrading your career for other people, right? There's lots of negative consequences for yourself: financial consequences, career consequences, physical consequences, mental consequences. But then when we start to look at the consequences it can have on others, that's what can make us make the decision like, oh no, I may be able to cope with it on my own, and because I'm strong, but I'm not going to let this destroy somebody else's life, somebody else's security. I'm not going to be the one that's just so overworked and underpaid that that it doesn't feel like I have a family and I'm neglecting my family. I will not let them suffer for it. And that's the thing that makes a lot of people say, I'm making my career a priority for now. I'm doing it for me, but even more, I'm doing it for my loved ones, for my wife, for my husband, for my kids, for my grandkids, for my sister, for my brother, for my brothers from another mother, for my friends, whoever it might be. And so what I'm going to talk about today is kind of the other side of that, is that when you choose to take ownership of your career, when you choose to make your career a priority, when you make a defiant decision to do that, that's an act of love. It's an act of love. It's an act of love for yourself. It's also an act of love for other people as well. I think that for a lot of people who we speak to, either because they say it directly or you can hear it in between the lines, that the reason they're hesitant to make their career a priority is because they don't want to have that take away from their family obligations, from their love, from the time that they're spending, from the energy, from the effort that they're spending on their family. And it's a bit of a catch-22, because while it's a decision made out of love. I don't want to make my career a priority because I care about my family too much. Right? I can't spend a lot more time at work or focusing on my career because I need to take care of my family. It's a bit of a catch-22 because you're already not, if your career isn't where you want it to be and you've been struggling and you've been stuck in your career, you're already beginning to let your family down. Not just because of the money, although that could be a big part of it, because you could be earning more, which means more financial freedom, financial safety, financial security. It's not just because of that, though. It could be the overworked part. I don't want to spend more time on my career because I can't take even more away from my family, but you already are. And the way that you're going to fix it is by temporarily choosing in the short term to make your career a priority and build that rocket ship that is your career so that you can eventually have even more time for your family. You got to spend time to make time, just like you have to spend money to make money. It's an investment in yourself. You have to see it that way. And when you choose to make that investment in yourself, the time investment, the financial investment, the effort investment. And the thing is, speaking of investments, for a lot of people, choosing to make your career a priority and working with experts like us, it is a financial investment. And for a lot of people, initially, that's what feels like it's in the way. Like, I can't spend that much money on myself. I just can't. I just don't have the money right now to do that. But what's interesting is that when we talk with people, and you know that we do, right? We have the quote unquote receipts to prove it. When we talk with people and have those career strategy sessions, those career breakthrough sessions that I talk about on all of these podcasts, what's interesting is that when you really start digging deeper and start peeling the layers back, normally, well, a lot of times, I'm not going to say all the time, but a lot of times what happens is there's that initial sort of, oh, wow, I'm not sure if I can afford it. I'm not sure if I'm worth it. I'm not sure I can even do this financially, right? That's where it starts. When you start peeling the layers back, the real resistance isn't about the money. It's about the effort and the change. The real resistance is, I've been living this way for so long. This means I'm going to be making decisions about changing the way that I work. It means I'm going to be changing the way that I look at my career. Oh, wow. I don't know if I can do that, because you've been in your comfort zone, or you've been in whatever zone you've been in for so long. It's that resistance to change. It's that natural. We all have that resistance to change. And even though we may know, we have complete faith in ourselves that we will get a return on that investment, that we will show up to do that, there's this discomfort. There's this fear even of changing. Because even though what I'm going through right now sucks, at least I know. It's like I'd rather deal with the devil that I know than the devil that I don't. Makes sense, right? But we're not talking about handing you another devil, right? We're not talking about putting you into even more hell. What's going to put you into even more hell and more unknown is to stay exactly where you are right now. And so that's just what's interesting about it, is that the resistance is often to the change. Not the monetary change, not the money, not the dollars, right? Is to changing your behavior and changing the way, and making your career a priority means changing the way that you approach the way that you work and the way that you talk with people about your career and what you do. It does mean changing that. Absolutely. Can't happen without it. And not just upgrading your resume. You know that it's more than that. That's why people often start there, because that feels easy. All I need to do is upgrade my resume. You can give us resume help, right? Right. I hope you can give us resume help. Yep, absolutely. But you know that it's going to be more than that too. Because if the key to commanding a $200K plus salary as a technical manager, while you free up time, more than 10 hours a week, while you have more time freedom, financial freedom, live a life of joy and balance and impact. If all you needed to do that was upgrade your resume, everybody would be doing it. They're not. Everybody is upgrading their resume, but everybody would be living that life, but they're not. So choosing to invest in yourself, choosing to change, to boldly, courageously say, it's time for a change. It's time to make my career a priority. This is an act of love. It's a gift. It's a gift that you're giving to yourself. So is it partially selfish? Yes. We do a lot of selfish things in life. Because after all, I'm the only me there is. So I better take care of myself. And it's an act of love to others as well. For so many different reasons. Because they get you back, smiling, shiny, happy, confident, got your mojo back, you that was disappearing through the months and possibly years of being stuck in your career. They get you back. Your wife gets you back. Your husband gets you back. Your kids, your other family members, your friends, your loved ones, they get you back. And it's a bonus too, because they get an even better version of you. They get the you who's soaring, who's full of love, who's full of light, who is tapped into the best version of you as a leader, of you as a human being. What a gift to give someone, to show up fully for someone else, to have enough love for yourself that you are so overflowing with it. You have more than enough to give to others. That's what happens on this journey of upgrading your career. Another reason why there's so many reasons, but another reason is why it's a gift of love. It's an act of love to others to choose to make your career a priority, to take ownership of your own career. It's an act of love because you are shining a light on what's possible. You're doing that for other people because there's other people in your life right now, friends, family, colleagues, even just people who you randomly meet on the internet or Slack groups who really desperately want to see what's possible. And they're just living in a life of scarcity right now. And they don't want to be, but they don't know anything better. And so by you building your dream career and you celebrating that with them from a place of honesty, from a place of integrity, from a place of humility, from a place of gratitude, you're shining a light on what's possible. You're doing that for them. It's a gift. It's an act of love. Building your dream career is an act of love. It's also an act of courage as well. Because you have to have the courage to change, to stretch the boundaries of what you believe you're capable of. We are all capable of 100, 1,000 times more than we think that we are. Because within us, within each of us, is our core source, our core power, that divine within, that God within us, that is infinitely powerful. And if you could only hear the whisper of what that divine being within you is trying to say. It doesn't speak English, so it's hard to hear sometimes. It speaks energy. It's why you feel it, you don't hear it. It's basically, you are amazing. You are marvelous. You are capable of so much. You want to earn a 200K salary? You're capable of 1 million if you really let go of the resistance. We're all capable of that. And when you tap into just a little bit of that and let go of just a little bit of the resistance, then you start to soar. That's when you start to soar. And that's a gift that you are giving to others because you're loving them, you're there for them, you're showing them what's possible. And now you have more resources to share with everybody else. Because your career, you've turned it into that rocket ship that's taking you and everybody around you, within your vortex of love, is taking you and everyone around you on a marvelous ride. And you have those resources to share with everyone else. Financial resources. You now have more money to give, to share. You also have more resources in terms of connections with other people, because one of the things that you're going to get to do as you build your dream career is you're going to get even better at building relationships, rock solid relationships full of just marvelous trust with other people. And you're going to be able to introduce those people to other people. You're going to have more resources. You're going to have more knowledge. I was just thinking of, it's not who you know, it's what you know. It's actually both. Right? So you're going to know more people. You're going to be able to connect more people. And you're going to have more knowledge. You're going to have more skills. You're going to tap even more into your natural abilities. You have all of these resources that are now available to you that you've built, all because you chose to make your career a priority. And you had the courage, and you had the conviction, and the decisiveness, and the resourcefulness, and the commitment to say, I know this means I need to change, but that's what's next. I'm not going to settle for mediocre anymore. And I'm certainly not going to settle for letting my loved ones suffer because of decisions that I've made in my career or have failed to make. No more. I want to build that rocket ship. Let's do this. That's how it's a gift of love. So if you're ready to give that gift of love to yourself and others and choose to make your career a priority so that you can set yourself up for an amazing 2021, to hit the ground running in 2021, I want you to book a call with us. thepeoplestack.com/book. We're going to have an honest conversation, a boldly, lovingly, honest conversation, one that you've never had before. This I promise you, about your career and what's not working and where you want to go. And we're going to help you figure out what's next for you. If it's working with us and we're 100% confident that working with us is the way to go, then we'll talk about all of the details and what's going to be required of you, what investments are going to be required of you to make this happen. If it's not the time yet to start working with us, we're going to get you ready. We're going to get you ready to do that. We're going to give you action steps. So either way, you're going to leave that call with so much clarity, not just about your career. They are, after all, career clarity calls, career strategy calls. Absolutely. But we're not just talking about your career here. We're talking about the rest of your life too. Your career, you can turn it into being your biggest asset. Financial asset, emotional asset, spiritual asset, relationship asset. That's what's so powerful about your career. Harness it. Harness its power. That's what you're going to get out of that call, to feel the power of your career, to get that clarity around it. It's going to be a massively valuable conversation as long as you show up coachable and ready to have a boldly honest conversation about what's going on in your career right now and where you want to go. thepeoplestack.com/book is the way to book that call for us, that call with us, and we're here for you. We want to help you give that gift of love. We want to help you to give the greatest gift that you can possibly give someone else which is your presence, your 100% presence, where you have no other worries, no other concerns. You know that your career is taken care of. You have a plan, you have strategies, and you have support. That's what we can give you. And then in that way, you're going to be able to give that gift of presence and resources and love to those who you love. They deserve it. Taking ownership is an act of love. Ask yourself, how can I take even more ownership in my career and in my life? That's it, folks. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.